Greenland too. I may.
Shalom. I want to begin our lesson off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rahaha Kodash. Double blessing and honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Peace and salutations to the brothers out there pushing this truth through peace and sincerity, the Akim, as well as you few sisters out there listening and learning. The Akwath to you also. I say Shalom. It is your brother, Ratazagabar, back here with another lesson through the spirit. And in today's lesson, I'm going to be talking about the United States, Greenland, and NATO, what's been going on, and stuff like that. And Lord willing, the lesson be edifying those out there listening and watching. Like, I played this video from Donald Trump earlier today. Get some precepts through the spirit, and Lord willing, the lesson be edifying. So with that being said, I'm playing this for educational and edification purposes only. This video is not monetized. I'm not making any money off of it. This is not for any type of monetary gain. So please do not strike this video down, YouTube. That being said, we'll go ahead and play it.
Put a tariff on countries if they don't go along with Greenland, because we need Greenland for national security. So I may do that. I'll give you a little, I'll take you out of that. In fact, that'll end up being the story. But actually, this is a much bigger story because we're reducing healthcare by numbers that you haven't seen. Tariff King, and the Tariff King has done a great job. And I hope we win the Supreme Court case, because if we don't, through country after country, Susie was responsible for getting every one of those leaders on the thing. Susie, by the way, stand up, Susie. She is doing such a good job. She's the first female chief of staff, and she might be the best chief of staff too, but she's doing a great job. Thank you, Susie. So Susie got him on, and I just went one after another. I called Germany. No, we will not do that. I said, no, we're going to put a 25% tariff, which is, by the way, about 7 times more than they would have to pay by raising their drug, like 7 times. This wasn't like a little bit more, 7 times more. And I may do that for Greenland too. I may put a tariff on countries if they don't go along with Greenland, because we need Greenland for national security. So I may do that. I'll give you a little, I'll take you out of that. In fact, that'll end up being the story. But actually, this is a much bigger story because we're reducing healthcare by numbers that you haven't seen. So I spoke to the top 10 countries. They all said no, and within about 2 minutes, they all agreed. And we were off to the races. And now we have favored nations. It's called most favored nations. So if France is paying, let's say, $20 or $30 instead of $10, we are going to pay that 20 or 30. We pay the lowest price, whatever the lowest price is. So if France is paying $100, but Germany's paying $20, we pay what Germany pays. So we go from a horrible situation on drugs, prescription drugs, to the lowest price anywhere in the world. Is that a correct statement, Oz? Because they're going to blame you. If you want to correct me, you can, but you won't be here for long if you do.
You're correct, Mr.
Oz
President.
has left employment. No, but is that a correct statement?
That's an absolutely correct statement. And that's what we want to codify in the great healthcare plan.
Yeah.
That's why
what
it's
we're
so
codifying.
important.
That's
Because
right.
if the president's not here, there's a flight risk with these companies not obliging us anymore, because I think it's the strength of your personality, but also they know they will follow through with the threats if we don't act. So we believe other countries will change their opinions, and so will drug companies. So we've got to get it into legislation.
Well, if you have the wrong president, the countries have tremendous influence over us. They look, why Why did we go to an income tax system instead of a tariff system? We had the wealthiest nation. If you go back to the 1800s, 1887, we had money, so much money, we didn't know what to do with it. But the countries at that time, same, no different. They have a tremendous influence over this country. For whatever reason, I don't know, but they do. So if you have the wrong president, they'll change the system in 2 minutes. I mean, they'll change it. And the drug companies are very powerful, too. You have to deal with them. In this case, it was both. I mean, you had a problem with the drug companies, but you had a tougher problem in theory, other than the fact that I understood how to deal with them. And I'm the tariff king, and the tariff king has done a great job. And I hope we win the Supreme Court case, because if we don't, be a shame for our country. Be a shame. We have a great, safe, beautiful country now. We're doing better than we've ever done. We hit 42 stock market highs during the 11-month period that I've been here. There's never been anything like it. Stock market's hitting a new high again today. So it's it's been incredible. So just to end it on this, because
Subscribe to One India.
So as you can see,
Several European countries are deploying troops to Greenland.
well, matter of fact, this is actually good. It goes in with this lesson as well.
Several European countries are deploying troops to Greenland for military exercises with Denmark in response to President Trump's threats to take over the Arctic island. The deployments from 7 NATO allies are seen as symbolic show of solidarity. Meanwhile, talks between U.S. and Danish officials remain at a stalemate. Several European
I want this to be the thumbnail. But yeah, man. Just all out division. We know that Donald Trump has been talking about taking the U.S. out of NATO, and the U.S. being the backbone of NATO, right? It's stirring up strife. It's stirring up division between these EU, European nations over there in that land for the precious elements and resources that Greenland provides. That's what this is about, right? I want to say it's to supply their nuclear program. Nonetheless, though, this is all good for the Israelites once again, because it's leading closer and closer to salvation. The book of Revelation 17 and 16, it says, and I did a lesson on this, and the 10 horns, which is the EU, which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, which is Babylon the Great, America, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. These nations around and about are gonna seek revenge, recompense on America because of the things that they've done to all the nations. They played a part or had their hand in other nations' business and dealings for a while now. The book of Daniel 2 and 40, it says, and the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh out all these shall it break in pieces and bruise. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay. That's talking about the kingdom that we're in right now, the revived Roman Empire, which is made up of the EU, NATO, and Babylon the Great, America. But there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with merry clay. And the iron talks about a strong, a strong part of the kingdom, which is America. You could say that they're the strong, dominant part of this kingdom. And the weak clay part of this kingdom would be them other European type nations, Edomite nations. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken, right? And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with merry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, right? That's talking about nepotism. How you can relate that would be how all of these presidents over here are related in some way, shape, or form. But they shall not, that's why we call it a selection, not an election. But they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with merry. Well, even as iron is not mixed with clay. So the Lord is stirring this pot up, man, as we getting closer and closer to the end times, right? What was that? Oh, no, that's Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. Habakkuk 2:8. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. So I say, if you just look at the history of America, they're actively trying to terrorize a whole bunch of other countries right now, simultaneously. They're very covetous. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Jumping down to verse 12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establisheth a city by iniquity. If you look at how America was even established, how these quote-unquote European settlers came over, they took this land by the natives. It goes back even to then. And the Lord even still recalls and takes that into account as being a part of their judgment as well. All right? So don't be surprised, and this could happen even this month. In the near future, when America invades Greenland, right? NATO gets to stirring up, which, like I said, I don't think none of those NATO nations militarily are going to really do anything to America. There was also talks, that with Russia and stuff like that, if any NATO jets, and it was a couple other countries they had said, if they interact with them, they striking them instantly. Boat, plane, all of that stuff. So, like we say, man, the second world passed and the third world cometh quickly. We're in that time now, man. We're past rumors of World War III going on. We're starting to see full out division and downfall of this kingdom. Matthew chapter 12 and verse 25, it says, And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. You got to realize, man, I always say this. Even though these Edomite parts of the land named the different things and things of that nature, at the end of the day, they're all Edomites warring with each other and causing their own downfall. Is wisdom no more in Teman, right? Have wisdom departed from Teman? It says, and if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then this kingdom stand? That's what it says. For Esau is the beginning of the world. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. His Edomite kingdom is coming to an end. We're seeing the downfall of a kingdom. This is the best time to be alive. We're about to witness biblical prophecy come to pass. We're about to witness something that's going to leave a lasting mark in history forever and ever. The destruction of the wicked as a whole, and the establishment of righteousness on the earth. So why would you not want to be alive in a time like this? We're about to see something that has never been done on the earth since there was a generation or a people ever. Right? So even then, that should want you to push harder, right? But they're almost at the finish line, Lord willing. So you might know they don't have much longer. Revelation 12 and 12, right? As a matter of fact, let me get this. Job 20 and 23. You know what I'm saying? As it says, the wicked can never get enough. The wicked are never content. It's never enough. They always want more and more and more and more. He says, Job 20 and 23. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. Jumping down to verse 27, and we can get to 25. It is drawn and cometh out of the body. Yeah, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. All darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. They all going to be destroyed. The lake of fire, man. All these nations are going to join in together and fight the angels of heaven, of the heavens army. And they're going to sorely lose. The heavens shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. Hey, like it says, hold on, let me make sure before I say this. People of the land, countries. Yeah, these people are about to come up against Esau, Edom. And even adding on to that literal earth, right? The earth is having birth pains. Actual physical earth, land. The increase of his house shall depart, right? And his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. They're trying so hard to expand their territory, right? To build up their empire, save it, right? Wound, heal that deadly wound. Heal that deadly wound. It's like one of my favorite scriptures. So like, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. This is the portion of a wicked man from God, and the heritage appointed unto him by God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. So in the end, who you think gonna prevail? The Lord of Heaven's armies, right? They may be able to go through with this, which I see them. They most likely are going to take these natural resources, and NATO ain't gonna be able to do. To come up and do nothing, right? But it's gonna play out how the Lord wants it to play out, and when the Lord wants it to play out, right? So I'm ended off there. Lord willing, the lesson was edifying to those out there listening and watching. Call Allah, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Korash. Double blessing and honor to the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone who taught me this truth through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And until next time, I say Shalom, Israel. Shalom. And as always, we're one day closer to the kingdom, man. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Shabbat Shalom.